It is the 28th of the 7th, 2011. This is today's climate change update. This one's out of Philly on Scott.net. The death toll from one of the region's most intense hot spells in the 138-year period of records has reached at least 18. And that's probably a substantial undercount in the view of the heat mortality expert. The health department added 8 additional heat-related deaths to the list today, bringing the Philadelphia total to 15. So the East Coast is still cooking. Record snowfalls in New Zealand. The big cleanup is well underway across the country following yesterday's record snowfalls in what may well end up being the coldest day of 2011. And you got to remember, Christchurch is still recovering from those massive quakes that took place and devastated hundreds and hundreds of buildings in the area. And now they're deep into winter. U.S. sinkhole shuts down portion of U.S. 41 in Brown County, Wisconsin. A quarter-mile southbound lane of 41 in northern Brown County was closed for 9.5 hours Tuesday after a 5-foot by 3-foot sinkhole in the road developed in the morning. Canada, part of the town street collapses, creating a large sinkhole in Carmen, Manitoba. No injuries reported as street is closed. U.S. cracks and sinkholes from the Creekside Yards, Pensacola, Florida. And Florida, of course, is a very sinkhole-prone state. Sinkhole in Palatine, Illinois could take 2 weeks to fix. It could take up to 2 weeks before crews completely repair a 15 by 20 foot sinkhole that opened up Saturday afternoon at Dundee and Hicks Road in Palatine. U.S. Florida Insurance Corporation seeking big premium increases in sinkholes. So your sinkhole insurance is going through the roof for some odd reason, right? They got another climate change story. ATS Euromaster motorist urged to prepare as forecaster predicts the worst winter on record. So we're going to go from extreme heat to extreme cold, huh? And that has nothing to do with the Gulf Stream slowing down, shutting down. South Korea landslides leave 32 dead, 10 missing, and this is what I was reporting from you last night. All the chaos that took place in South Korea. And over to the extinction protocol. Japanese scientists worry March 9.0 earthquake may unleash volcanic nightmare. Now this is kind of a fear piece, but it's just going into the geology story of that is pretty common historical knowledge that after big quakes, volcanic activity seems to increase in the days, months, and even few years preceding big quakes like we had the one in here. And of course Tokyo's right there. And it's a big long story. Large sunspot groups form on sun's eastern limb. And after more than a week of quiet, solar activity is picking up. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory is monitoring 2 big sunspot groups now emerging over the sun's eastern limb. And this is off of spaceweather.com. And tropical storm Dawn forms in the Gulf of Mexico. Let's hope it brings some precipitation to some well-needed areas. They're saying the only thing that's going to save these things is a tropical system as far as their drought and heat going on right now. But man, it's... And story, U.S. heat wave claims as many as 64 lives across America. This story's out of Illinois. The massive heat, that wave that baked half the country in triple-digit heat index last week may have caused as many as 64 deaths in 15 states. And of course, Iceland's feared Katla Volcano shows further signs of eruption. One of Iceland's largest volcanoes, Katla, is showing increased signs of activity as observers today reported an increase in the strength of telltale tremors. A swarm of earthquakes that struck the 9-mile-wide volcano a week after geophysicists warned the imminent danger of an eruption on the island. The volcano is capable of producing 4 times the ash of Iceland's last eruption in May. Observers believe unusual magma movement deep beneath Katla could signal early stages of activity that could lead to a huge eruption. Now, I've been going on and on for over a year. One of the first alerts I put out was on Katla, and I emphasize again, Katla. When Katla goes, it's a climate changer, and we will get it for real, and there's no tax in Katla. Last time she went off, and I believe it was 1919, they called it the year without a summer, because they were ice skating in the Gulf, or on the mouth of the Mississippi River. 20,000 homes destroyed by floodwaters in Bangladesh. And heavy flooding in southeastern Bangladesh has forced more than 20,000 people from their homes, and say the authorities. And again, they're in their monsoon season, typhoon season going on there, and they've just been getting a lot of excessive weather. 400,000 people already forced from their homes and unable to return due to flood waters, crop damage, the works. Sinkholes, a sign of the times. Observable reports of gaping sinkholes in the ground continue to come all over the place, in cities, on the open roads, and in the countryside. Many of the sinkholes you'll see below have been individually explained away, happening due to heavy rainfall during storms. I think it is an important thing to consider why so many of these sinkholes are appearing at once. If you consider the universe speaks to us in symbols, then perhaps there may be a deeper meaning behind their appearance at this evolutionary crossroads for humanity. And it's another one of the Extinction Protocol's fluff pieces. And of course, the South Korean flooding landslides leave 32 dead, dozens injured. Over to the RSOE. Of course, coming out of Russia, yet again, more forest fires. The Rostov region, and Moscow's baking under a heat wave as well. They're reporting temperatures over 30 degrees Celsius, and the story went on about the fire and smog last summer, but here we go again. Flash flooding in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Now, there are reports that the rain fell so heavy that the streets flooded as deep as 3 feet in some of these flash floods, and you know what that does for traffic and whatnot. And you got to remember, all of that's on the Missouri River Basin Valley, which is already under extreme flooding conditions, with 2 nuclear power plants parked just west of me. And extreme weather coming out of the state of Massachusetts. They're saying it's just the wind was so heavy it sounded like a tornado. They were saying as far as there's a lot of wind damage, and there's some pretty extreme weather. And they had a big long story on this report about some of the different things that happened. So it seemed like Massachusetts definitely had their hands full. That is about it I have for you weather-wise today. Of course, if I missed anything, please let me know or attach your videos below. And enjoy while you can, everybody. Thanks.